Welcome back to the Hot Seat Say. Listen, if you thought your week was stressful, at least you are not Bongani Ntanzi on the stand this past Friday. We are officially back and deep into the 2026 leg of the Senzo Meyiwa trial, and let me tell you, the drama is seasoning itself. I spent a morning watching the full broadcast of 13 February and I had to pause it 3 times just to catch my breath. We are talking about ghost lawyers, confessions that sounds like fairy tales, and a defendant who is basically saying the police are better fiction writers than Leon Schuster. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button. We don't just report the news, we pull up a chair and sit in the heat of it. Let's get into the breakdown. The so-called happy confession. So let's start with the big one. The state is relying heavily on this confession Ntanzi supposedly made in June 2020. Now, normally a confession is a game over moment, right? But Ntanzi's testimony on Friday made that confession look like a total delete all. The magistrate's Cronier notes. And guys, this is where it gets funny. The note says that Ntanzi was happy to make a statement. Happy. I doubt that. Does Ntanzi look happy to you guys? He is in court saying, I was not happy, I was being assaulted. I didn't even know the city I was in. Imagine that scene. The magistrate Cronier, is sitting there typing, the accused is in high spirits, very joyful. Now Ntanzi over there is allegedly getting the treatment from the police. Over there Ntanzi is smelling his I'm sure the whole office was smelling Ntanzi. And then she continued writing that. That's not convincing. He testified that he was never told that he could keep his mouth shut. He wasn't told that his words would be used to build his own prison cell. He's basically saying the police gave him a script and a shiner to go with it. Now let's talk about legal representation. This part is truly wild. Enter Mr. Mjako. According to Ntanzi, he didn't pick this man, he didn't hire this man, he didn't know this man. He says he met Mjako for the first time at the door of Magistrate Cronier's office. You guys, that's not a legal consultation, that's a drive-through. Ntanzi's testimony was basically saying, I saw a guy in a suit while I was at the door and he was wearing a mask. Remember, it was during the 2020 COVID-19 blah 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 thing. And the police told me he's my lawyer, and then we went inside. No private room, no what's your side of the story is, nothing. And get this, Ntanzi asked for the phone number of the person who supposedly hired Mjako, and Mjako told him, we'll talk about that later. They didn't talk about it later. Guys, drop a comment below. If you were arrested for a crime you say you didn't commit, and a random lawyer shows up at the door, would you trust him? I'd be running for the exit. Let's look at the technicalities, because the hot seat is where we look at the fine print. The defense team was pointing out that the confession forms are full of holes. There are sections asking if the accused wants legal aid, and it's blank. Sections asking if he wants to consult a lawyer, no recorded answer, blank. Ntanzi testified that he didn't even know what legal aid was. He told the court, I've never been arrested before. I don't know these things. And then there is the Johannesburg alibi. The statement says Ntanzi had knowledge of other arrests in Joburg. Ntanzi's response was, I didn't know Joburg. I didn't know where the crime scene was. I've never seen it. He is essentially accusing the authorities of copy-pasting. The authorities, I mean the police, a confession and just put his name on it at the bottom. It's bold, it's risky, but if he's telling the truth, the justice system isn't just broken, it's in the scrapyard. You might be asking, Hot Seat, why are we still talking about this in 2026? Because this trial is a mirror of South Africa It's been 11 years since we lost Senzo Meyiwa, 11 years of he said, she said. If these confessions are thrown out because the police didn't follow the rules, the state's case starts to look very thin. We want the real killers behind bars, but if the process is this messy, if the rights of the accused are being stepped on like a cheap rug, then any conviction is going to be appealed until 2040, until forever. We need a clean trial for a clean conviction. That was a lot to digest. Ntanzi is holding his ground for now, but for the cross-examination is where things will get really spicy. I'll be back here with the next update as soon as the court adjourns. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a thumbs up. Oh, before I forget, guys, the court adjourned very early on Friday if you didn't watch it. Due to the interpreter, Mr. Jonas and his team were supposed to attend some other things, so there was no interpreter and the court had to adjourn until the next Monday. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel to grow as we keep bringing the heat. So the questions for the day is, do you think Ntanzi is a victim of a setup or he's the master manipulation? Let's discuss it in the comments section. I'll be down there replying as many as I can. Until next time, keep your seat hot, your coffee hotter, and stay safe. I'm out.
An occasion which is endorsed by the Office of the Chief Justice, and that the staff under Mr. Jonas also has to attend. So it's an official outing, and it will be awkward for this court to refuse that Mr. Jonas, who's supposed to be heading this very section, absents himself. So I've told everybody that we shall endorse any document which is required either by the legal aid or any other person, that this will be treated as a full day regarding payment, okay? So we shall adjourn until, is it Monday?
Yes.
Is it not a holiday Monday?
No, we're proceeding.
So the President is still fit to
February.
talk on Monday.
Yes. No, we're proceeding on the 16th.
Okay, fine. So adjourn until Monday then.
Welcome to the fire where the stakes ignite, where the questions burn hotter than the night. No escape once you're locked in the heat. This is your trial on the hot seat. To the fire where the stakes ignite, where the question